exploring the boundless horizons of library and information science, nurturing for future leaders. Today, July 12, 2024, is a significant milestone together to share ideas, knowledge, and experiences that will shape the future of our discipline. This inaugural event establishes a platform for ongoing intellectual exchange and professional development within our department. The team highlights our commitment to advancing the field and preparing future leaders by exploring innovative approaches, address contemporary challenges, and promoting leadership in library and information science. This seminar series will enhance our department's visibility and position us at a center for thought leadership and cutting-edge research. It will offer invaluable opportunities for our students, faculty, and professionals to network, share ideas, and collaborate, thereby promoting a sense of community and encouraging the exchange of knowledge and best practices. The seminar series will feature prominent speakers, experts, and the series will keep us updated on latest trends, research, and innovations, thereby contributing to our professional growth. It will also enhance our department's legacy and prestige, thereby our motto, the motto of the department. Nurturing what?
Stand up.
Future alive. If you are very compensated,
remove.
Can we give it to you, please? Thank you very much. And with that, we aim to inspire and equip our students to lead and innovate in their careers. We are honored to have Barrister Oludayo John Bamboshe as our guest speaker. His extensive experience and profound understanding of library and information science will provide valuable insight and perspectives. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our dean for his support, esteemed professors and faculty members here present, and guests for your presence, and to the organizing committee and staff members of the Department of Library and Information Science. Thank you very much for making this event possible. I encourage our students to listen attentively to the guest speaker. Ensure that you are jotting down as he's speaking. And if you have questions, there will be opportunity for you to ask after his presentation. Make sure that you clear your doubts from him before you leave this place today. Thank you very much. Let us seize the opportunity to explore the horizons, the boundless horizons of library and information science together. Thank you very much for coming. Have a good day.
We can do better than that. Thank you so much, my beautiful librarian and HOD, for that beautiful and inspiring opening remarks. We are going to go to the pure business of the day now. I want to tell us that Barrister Bambose is very busy, and we thank God that he could make it. We have to drag him down from somewhere around Nigeria because he did not come directly from Oyo. He was somewhere, he came there, and he'll be going back to where he comes from. So please, a round of applause for Barrister Bambose. I don't know how to do it in the law profession, when I'm not supposed to call you out like that. I hope I'm not going to be invited to the court of law that I'm not doing it that is just like the content of court. Okay, thank God. So I permit me to welcome Dr. Thomas and Modeli to please bring the citation of Barrister Bambose. Please, we can do better than that for.
Good morning, everybody. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. It is with great pleasure brief recitation of Barrister Oludayo John Bamgbose. Barrister Oludayo John Bamgbose is a law teacher, legal clinician, attorney, and a certified librarian of Nigeria. He is currently law librarian with Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo, Nigeria. He attended the foremost Ibadan Library School for bachelor and master's degrees in library and information studies, which he received in 2008 and 2019 respectively. He also obtained his bachelor's from the Faculty of Law, after which he was admitted to the Nigerian Bar as a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Barrister Bamgbose career as librarian to 1st of July 2015 and presently on the rank of librarian. Committed member of Nigerian Library Association Oyo State Chapter, where he is volunteer. He volunteered as members of Associations of African Law and Information Professionals. Athlete, he is also a member of the Standing Committee of the Law Library Sections of the International Federation of Library and Information Standards. That is the highest professional body of librarians in the whole world. His research interests revolve around the intersection between the provisions of legal information and access to justice in Nigeria. He is well published in local and international outlets with 39 citations. He is a recipient of many awards and fellowships, such as Bittner Research Fellowship of Council of Cornell University, Ithaca, Cornell, United States of America. Very soon, by year 2025, he is going to join the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, London, United Kingdom. Currently, he is implementing a research grant, which he facilitated between Ajayi Crowther University and University of Cape Town, South Africa, on a project that seeks to enhance citizens' access to government information. He is happily married to Mrs. Afolake Bamgbose, a Deputy Director at the Oyo State Ministry of Information, and the union is blessed with 2 children. It is an honor to present to you Barrister Oludayo John Bamgbose.
Thank you very much, everyone. Indeed, very honored to be here today in your midst. I like to begin by recognizing Javier Father, the Dean of the Faculty, and to say that I enjoyed his opening remarks. Also, the head of the department, like the usual saying, will rise by standing on the shoulders of giants. Thank you very much for all that you do to protect us. I also would like to recognize very especially to say that it's an honor for me to say a big thank you to Dr. Adio. He might have forgotten, in 2007 as the president of Library Archival and Information Studies Student Association, University of Ibadan, we did send an invitation to him to present a paper like this, which he honored. Thank you. It's so happy to see that you are looking younger by the day, sir. I also would like to mention very dearly my uncle, Dr. Maybe it's allowed, I'm from a faith-based school, so we mention religious title, pastor, numbers of God a day. It's good to have you. I have also seen senior members of the department, the faculty, and the library. I thank you all for being here today. And then also the students, you are the reason why we are here. And I want to tell you that this is the best profession you can ever think of. Every profession is the fact that I was born in the town of Ghana as a said in promotion. So anytime I do that very experience, I'm always very happy to come here. So today I am supposed to speak, I'll be speaking on the topic entitled Exploring the Boundless Horizons of Library and Information Science, Nurturing Future Leaders in the Field. I must apologize that I do not have slides. As a matter of fact, I have a video which I'm going to be sharing with you very soon. Maybe on the link, the head of the department will help share to students to watch that. And it is to underscore the role of law librarians, the role of librarians, whether law librarians, medical librarians, whichever area you find yourself in the knowledge economy. That video, which you will later see, speaks of one young boy from a village in Zimbabwe. And then this boy went to the library, not knowing of what to do, from a very humble background, approached the librarian and said, I want a book on the windmill. So this librarian picked the book and gave that book to that young boy. That boy, over a period of maybe 6 months, he was able to build a windmill machine which generated electricity. That singular act of kindness or professionalism exhibited by the librarian and the student reading that book gave that boy a kind of visibility around the world. As of 2020, he had been to not less than 20 countries. In fact, when he was to do his university education, he had many scholarships from the US. What I'm trying to underscore is really not the role or is not what happened to the students, but the fact that we had a librarian who was skillful, who knew how to actually make information available to that boy. So as librarians you will come to realize that any information that you are giving must be user-centric, and it is. And when you give the right information, you may not be able to contemplate what will be the impact of that information. Now, all through the ages, library and information professionals have always strategically positioned to drive development and major scientific inventions through the resources that they make available to their information consumers. The changing times in the global information management architecture requires that the content and the method of delivery of information must be contextualized within the local environment, while its dissemination to the patrons must be user-centric, as encapsulated in Raghunatha's theory of librarianship. For those of us that are professionals, we know the principles. I believe some of our students will know every book to its user, every user its book. Do not waste the time of the library user. The library is a growing organism. What's the fifth one? I can't remember.
Let's start again.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Let's start for you. save the library in the time of the reader, and the library will go on. Thank you very much, man. It's good to be in class again, man. So, your role as a librarian in our changing time to the adventurous evolution of technological inventions in the field of science, leading to the discovery of computers, to the evolution of emerging technologies such as Internet of Things, 5G network, robots, and AI solutions in general. Library and information professionals are constantly challenged on the need to be part of the process midwifing technological innovations, or else they will be less involved in the knowledge dissemination process in the current era. There are a lot of debates talking about whether librarians should be involved. In fact, I don't think that's a debate again. The debate is that to what extent are you going to be involved in that process if you do not have the competencies required for you to be relevant.
YouTube, go to YouTube.
Librarians are expected to also change the system in order to ensure that the regular user-centric services are adapting to the trendy web technologies being used globally to provide learning services to people. Now, in this presentation, because of the nature of our audience, I have structured my presentation into two segments. First of all, what we need to do as a library school to be able to nurture the future leaders and again the profession at large. But I've chosen the leaders to start with the library school, like they say, charity begins at home. And what I've also done, usually in presentations you see recommendations coming towards the tail end of the presentation. What I have done is to look at issues and to bring in a recommendation in the course of my presentation. I'm saying there's a question here, what does the library need to do in order to be able to nurture future LIS professionals? And I said the first is paying close attention to our library schools. Of course, we know that the necessary approval for running of LIS program, like Prof said earlier, requires accreditation from the regulatory bodies, both the National University Commission and the LRCN. This is in pursuant to the expectations that the human, physical facilities and other necessary requirements stipulated by the regulatory bodies have been satisfactorily met by the applying institution. Incidentally, these institutions serve as a primary source of personnel in our libraries. No matter how qualified you are in other disciplines, if you have not been to a library school and you are in a standard school, not a place where somebody else is appointed as the director of the library, whoever needs to be the librarian must be somebody who has gone through the library school. Hence, they need to pay a closer attention to the activities in our library schools. Now, like the legal dictum, this is a legal expression. Nemo dat quod non habet. Nemo dat quod non habet. It means you cannot give what you do not have. The nature of training and the environment will to a large extent determine the marketability of the graduates as well as their abilities to respond to core issues in the knowledge economy. I said Ladok Akintola University Department of Library and Information Science is one of the best practices that you can think of because it is adequately equipped with the necessary manpower required to drive the library in the modern era. Now, beginning from the leadership to a number of the staff in the department, you see persons who have gained cognate experience before coming to the class to teach, and this is very, very important. Now, when you look at it, for example, in the aspect of the ICT skills, to classify a librarian without the necessary skills will amount to the description of a coffee without sugar. Yet, a librarian will require a lot of these skills. I'm sure we are training people that are well balanced here, and that's why I said that right from the recruitment process, it is incumbent to ensure that lecturers and instructors are persons with the leader skills. Unlike some schools where majority of staff do not have industry experience, I make bold to say that Lauten's experience in this regard is really exemplary and worthy of emulation. Beginning with the head of the department with a number of senior faculty members, they have well-grounded industry experience will come handy, particularly in teaching core courses like library routines, library management, serial management, and other important courses. You will agree with me that experience and industry will be important. Otherwise, would you prefer an expert in computer games to be your driver? So that's underscoring the importance of ensuring that people who come to class to teach are persons with a blend of the rich industry experience and the theoretical experience that is required from the classroom. Both are very, very essential. Mainstreaming industry experts in library education is also key. Library schools need to endeavor to regularly bring in successful industry experts to regularly interact with students and faculty members. With this development, new, fresh, and arguably more pragmatic perspectives may be injected in the learning curve of the students. This idea is very common in the field of law, where industry experts are appointed as adjunct lecturers. I know that sometimes we may be concerned with what will be the take of the NEC and other regulatory bodies when you bring in people who are not core academics to teach. But like I've said, in the field of law, it has been well tested and it is working. Now, a few of these persons are worthy of mention. People appointed as adjunct lecturers in the field of law. Professor Yusuf Ali, for those who may know him, is currently an adjunct professor of law at Federal University or Yekiti, it's even a federal university. You also have Professor Afe Babaola. He was formerly an adjunct lecturer at the Faculty of Law, University of Ibadan, and now an adjunct professor at Abuja. Even if we say that it's because it is university, that university belongs to him. What about the University of Ibadan? We also have Professor Koyisola Jai, the managing partner of Olani Nwamko. Is one of the foremost lawyers in Nigeria, with about 80 lawyers working under him. The list gets probably 400,000. For somebody at that level of distinction, is also going to come and teach, even if it is just twice in a month. Now, so that's very important. We need to be able to bring them occasionally to interact with students. It is from here that students are able to ask some personal questions that they do not even be hopeful to ask their students, and they are also able to get important things. So I said experts in book publishing, heads of libraries, ICT experts, and those who can inspire students can be engaged in the process. I'm able to see that Laute has started on a very good note. I encourage that please be continued. Because sometimes that's the challenge that we have in this part of the world, when the change in administration to continue. And I'm also glad to see that if something is good, it is not the sign of good to say let us consolidate on the things of the past. It is what is not good that we want to jettison what is not good. The institutions may be flexible as to their LIS choose for their industrial attachments. If an LIS student has interest in ICT decides to observe his or her IT with Google or Microsoft, such students should be allowed. Of course, with other considerations around governance, supervision, and examination, I think that is also very key. But this is a recognition of the fact that not LI students may end up in LI's environment. It may be profitable to expose them to other disciplines early in their want to work in this area, in as much as what they are dealing with has got to do with one thing or the other related to librarianship, we should be flexible. One of the reasons why I am standing here to the glory of God as a lawyer happened to be my experience doing my IT. I observed my IT in the law office of Chief Abdullah SA. And while I was there, I discovered that the training we had or we were receiving as librarians is not in any way substandard to what law students were having or with our interactions with lawyers. And then, because I was originally jammed, I wanted to study law, and then I was encouraged in the course of my IT. And now, to the glory of God, I went, did my DLIS, LLD. As a matter of fact, I'm just about to submit my thesis for my master's in law degree. So it has not in any way deviated me from what I want to do. Just about a week ago, somebody was asking, what's my goal? Do you want to be a professor of law? I said, maybe when I have tasted the sweet seat of university librarian. So it's a fantastic experience. I mean, to be in a position to coordinate so much activities related to research in an institution. So it is important that we are a bit flexible. I'm not saying that we should allow them to go to Yakaro's market, but a place that we know can add value to. I believe this will be very helpful. Having said that, I also said library schools need to take advantage of the new CC mass to introduce new courses that can make students stand out after graduation. Few of the courses may revolve around emerging technologies in order, and then not only emerging technologies, as you get to see in the second part of my presentation, there are other skills that we need to learn as librarians. Lobbying is one of them. Thank you. Advocacy, lobbying, and some soft skills. They are very, very, very important. If I have time, I may dwell a little bit more on the emerging technologies, but I'm also time conscious. Besides, it may be necessary for the library school to also engage in multidisciplinary studies and education in line with international best practices. For example, when the university gets to the status of having postgraduate program, the department may wish to introduce a specialized training of masters in law librarianship. I can tell you that there are some schools in the US, I've applied to one or two of them. When they told me the institution, I did not need any prophet to tell me that I was being ambitious. So there are schools in the US that have such specialized programs. And the interesting thing is that they are able to attract students from different parts of the world. Now, that can also begin. Specialized master's program in law librarianship, medical librarianship, and other specialized skills, particularly those who work in special libraries. You may agree with me that this can increase the visibility of young graduates and people that are able to get jobs upon graduation. We said this program, the one in law librarianship that I mentioned, is very popular in US and Canada. If specialized programs are doing this out here, it may be one of the ways to attract foreign exchange from students who may even come from neighboring countries. And these days, now that NEC is now receptive to online teaching, so your students may not be limited to Nigeria, it may be limited to, you may have people in other African countries. I would say the same can be done for other disciplines and law engineering and other places. We said, also, I was very happy when I heard that there's a department of the Institute for Software Engineering. There may also be the need to work with some of those departments to introduce some hybrid courses in digital humanities, digital informatics, where the department will have inputs, they will also have inputs. And that may also confer some benefits on some faculty members who may be either professor here and having professor in other places. And by the way, it's an opportunity to also be able to mentor people who may not work directly in the library, but who may have to pass through the department because of our recognized expertise that we are giving to them. We have said that it is important, while strengthening the teaching of the core professional courses in librarianship, such as cataloging and classification, serial management, library management, and all of those core courses. The provision of the 30% window in the CCMAS is an opportunity, like I said, to be able to look inwards and devise courses that may be very helpful for us. Now, I've talked about the issue of emerging technologies. Now, for the sake of students and for the sake of being scholarly, let me just quote an individual. Holding and Hansard 2024 described emerging technology as the technologies, emerging technologies as technologies that has attained the highest level of acceptance. They are technologies that support user services, instructions, library management, and are included in emerging technologies. Now, these new technologies have given the libraries all over the world fantastic potential to improve user services to library and information services. Libraries in developed countries have been using emerging technologies like robotics, cloud computing, RFID, big data, institutional repository, virtual and augmented reality, book delivery drones. Yes, that in China they now use book delivery drones. They use drones to deliver books, and Web 2.0 to provide library and information services. Now, by the time we are talking about emerging technologies, like I say, in developed countries, now that is not to mean that we are not doing anything here. Just towards the tail end of Professor Yitili Zeid's administration at the University of Lagos, I think she's still the US, but she's still the UL. They introduced robots into the library. And incidentally, robots are being used in different areas of human behavior. I'm going to give an example why it is important to be able to have firm understanding of this and what that can do to you. Now, one of the legal databases that we purchase, I can tell you all law faculties in Nigeria subscribe to it. It's a requirement by NBC. You also have many lawyers that also subscribe to this. The subscription for an access point is about 50 to 100,000 naira. Now, that database is called Legalpedia. The person who develops it does not know anything related to law. He just knows that in the past you have judgments to court that will be recorded and then will be in print format. The lawyers and agencies, they don't have time to be opening from one page to the other. The guy thought of what can he do? He just brought in some lawyers who don't have that level of entrepreneurship and said, let me digitize these things and rewrite the word so that it will not appear as plagiarism. Then we now embedded in it some AI solutions. Most lawyers don't have training in that regard. And then now, if you have a matter, you want to find out the latest case in Nigeria, for example, in less than 5 seconds, it will bring out that thing. Now, what is it doing? He is doing the job that you and I should be doing. So, that is one of the things that the knowledge of emerging technology will do, and that's why I said we should be flexible in the choice of places we ask our students to go. For example, somebody who is in a law environment, they understand that. For those that are in medical field, they also understand some of the peculiarities of what they have and develop a robust AI solution that will solve that problem. Just yesterday, I just wrote the name of about 750,000 naira to be given to a non-lawyer to provide services to our. I mean, by saying that, I'm not doing derogation. I'm just saying that each and every one of us seated here, we have that potential of greatness. We only need to look inwards and look at areas that we can invest on. Now, speaking of the benefits associated with the adoption of emerging technologies in library, in NAMDA 2022 revealed that by emerging technologies, libraries can enhance their offering and remain a vital resource. So can enhance their offerings and remain a vital resource for their users. It is at this point, every library school is required to be able to find a way to impart knowledge on these emerging technologies. There is no hiding place. There is no hiding place. It's important, and that will also bring to bear the reason or the suggestion that it's important to be able to bring in some industry experts. And sometimes, while bringing them in, it may snowball a kind of collaboration that can result into papers and other opportunities. For example, I know that in University of Ibadan for some years in their petroleum engineering department, they will train people on how to do some software, and after those ones have gained mastery of it, they will go to the oil company. Some of us may have an advantage of getting some briefs, of getting some consultancies. Recently, we just concluded an arrangement with a publishing firm. They publish a lot of law materials, and I said, do you know what? Before you publish your materials, let me get you a catalog in print thing for you to affix on your book. Law librarians will be very happy to do that. The man was very happy. Then the second part of it was a discussion of how much you will pay on every book. And these are ways that we can look into when we expand our horizons into doing that. Then, finally, on this segment, I said institutions will need to also invest in areas that are critical to the development of the nation, focusing on the intersection between librarianship, ICT, and core global issues such as the SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals, and Agenda 2063 will assist. It's important because in addition to this, other areas confronting other issues confronting developmental goals may be considered as well. Therefore, having revolving round issues of having a course, for example, of interaction that will revolve around some of the development issues may also help the students so that they can begin to put on their thinking cap to go areas where they can invest on. And for us, while the global community, while they are talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17-point agenda, our focus in Africa is more on the expanded goals, which we call the Agenda 2063. If we want to localize the information that we provide, if we are saying that we want to be user-centric, it means that we must be able to also look at our domain and look at issues that are of great challenge to us. Now, as the profession, I have observed in the course of my perusal of literature that there is depth of literature to suggest robust engagement between Nigerian librarians and other potential non-library stakeholders. This is essential for librarians more than ever. Or it is essential for librarians more than ever to forge alliances with policymakers in order to reposition their library services. The usual complaint of lack of institutional support could simply be surmounted where we are able to strategically have relationship with them. For example, initiatives like creating a network with members of governing council of the university may help when it comes to budgetary allocation. For example, for those in public libraries, if they want to interface with the parliament, in 2016, I had the opportunity of visiting IFLA for a conference and held at Ohio. And in the course of interaction with the librarians, I was told that the people in the public library, they have a way of always interacting with the parliamentarians, and as a result, they have a special vote for the public library. Until we begin to negotiate or until we begin to speak with the decision makers, we may not have opportunity to get something that is good. Now, I must say that this is one of the best facilities I have seen in any library school in Nigeria. And this speaks eloquently to the kind of relationship that you have had from the university library to tailing it to the commencement of the library school. So that is very, very important. I've just cited the state of Ohio as one of the examples of places where public librarians interact with parliamentarians. In some places, there's also the need to have formidable networks with non-state actors. So the first category will be state actors or the parent bodies. The second will be non-state actors. Besides Book for Africa, Wikipedia that we have seen in recent times partnering with librarians in Nigeria. We've not been seeing or we've not been reading or it has not been well documented of several initiatives where librarians are getting some support from the international community. I can tell you that there are a lot of funds. There are a lot of funds. There is one that our school is implementing now. It's just to want to be visible enough and to be able to see that you are consistent in what you are doing, to be able to enjoy that. Some of us we don't have to participate in global politics. I mean, my membership of the Standing Committee on England is not possible with one guy. It was just out, it was time for nomination as well. They have this African so, and when you are that level, people will see some of the things you are doing. So when you need support, you need people to write for you, you need to do that. It is important that you are able to do that. And it is indicating to our colleagues, in other times that is giving us some of the benefits that we have. As Nigerians, I'm sure we are aware of the cycle life. The concept of the cycle life came with the collaborations that Nigerians have with the United Nations. The latest addition into that cycle life is what we call Global Access to Information. It was Liberians from Cornell, Yale, that collaborated with the International Labour Organization to do that. There is nothing stopping us from doing that. How many of us, for example, have sat down to think of writing down the foundation to say that can support what we are doing? And I want to say sometimes we do some programs, we are not visible, the world is not seeing what we are doing. As a student at the University of Ibadan, we have one organization that we call the United Nations Organization, and we were always having some programs. So somebody suggested that why don't you send information to the embassies? You send information, you will get auto generated email. Maybe absent from office, I'll be around on Monday. That will be all. Until after a certain time when an email came and said there's a grant for a small grant, would you want to apply? As one who saw it, I just assembled our team members and they did a fantastic job. That time we got $2,000. So some of the work that we are doing, if we are not so visible, there are some persons, they have social media platforms and the only thing they post there are we need to be very careful because some of those messages may not be very sensitive. If we are putting religious messages, we must balance it. And unlike in the days where also for students too, obscene events, obscene pictures and the rest are not things that you have on social media handle. If you apply to embassies like the US, they will ask for social media accounts. And they will check. In fact, at the time they are standing in front of them for visa, they are checking. There is a story of a lady who gained admission to Harvard from the Middle East. This lady failed to the order of visa. She got, I can imagine that happens today. I will go to my committee in church, I will do Thanksgiving, everybody will know I'm going to Harvard. This lady perhaps had done that. When she got to the entry point, they just, the usual random check on social media accounts, they discovered that she had made a particular statement on her social media account that was capable of inciting violence. On the basis of that, she was turned back. After everybody wrote petition, I did not follow up what happened eventually, but at least he did not speak the US that way. So everything we are doing, our social media and the rest, we must be strategic. Put information about yourself. Trust me, by tomorrow morning or next tomorrow, information on this will be on my social media account. And it is because there are people that are watching what you are doing. The time they are approaching them with some support, that's the first place they first go to. I don't think there should be any professional here who is not on it. Google Scholar, this MI, open the map that they read, they said 39 citations. When they are reading citations of people for inaugural lecture, they mention that if you are not visible on anybody will cite you. Of course, that 39 citation is the starting point. That is not the goal. But it's just to say that we are committed to maintaining this journey. So it's very important that we have that kind of robust engagement. Look at the people on this Wikipedia when it started. I have the people there that did not join them. People are using that all over the world. There's this lady, I think the online things also. She travels everywhere. Yes, ma'am. They move around, and for our students, think of what will positively engage you. Don't think of other businesses on the internet that are not ethical. By the way, we have the Cybercrime Act that prohibits unethical use of computer or IT solutions. If there are students who do that, please repent. And then, apart from organizations like that, we can also look at other professional bodies. We can look at the NUJ. When we have programs, if we have good partnerships, they will come and promote whatever we are doing. We can decide to talk about, for example, in my library, we now do an annual at the law library on breast cancer. I've had people very close to me who died of breast cancer. I mean, it's something that it's there, you are seeing the person dying and you cannot help. So, and for the kind of awareness programs that we do, we bring in experts, of course not information professionals, doctors, to come and talk to people. So, what we have, and then, let me also say that in having citations, for those in the field of technology and medicine, science generally, usually they have high citations. So even when we collaborate with them and it results into paper, we are sure that our work will have more citations. That is not to say that we are interested in just citations. Of course, when they are citing us, it's an indication that our work is useful. And we need to also put deep things in that process so that we can be able to say that we have truly merited what is happening to us. So, as librarians, it is important, if we must nurture future leaders, to begin to hone our skills. Of course, thankfully, LAUTECH can access TED fund. For those of us from private schools, we often criticize our exclusion, which we believe it is an injustice. It's an injustice because we pay taxes. The staff who work there are also Nigerians. We pay taxes. Also, the students that benefit, for example, when we have staff development funds, they are not Ghanaians, they are Nigerians. So we keep saying that, and I want to appeal, if any one of us is in any forum or fora where it is being discussed, please let us consider private schools to be able to go and get funds. I know the complaint is that are they not making money, but truly, if private schools are involved in TED fund, government will now have the confidence to say, open your books, how much are you charging students? And they will be able to regulate all of those things. So that's important. We must also be ready to constantly hone our skills. Like I said, we can access this, but beyond that, there are a lot of free resources online. Go to YouTube. In fact, when this presentation was to start, I was just thinking, what can I really do? I went on YouTube and see whether I could see similar things. And there is nothing to make a back. You see information on social media. So these days, nobody should complain that it's because my institution is not providing funds for me. Also, for many of these international programs, particularly for first-timers, there are opportunities to apply for support. We need to take advantage of that. And when you are applying, like I said, your profile to be sure that you are not just cooking up stories. That is important. We have also, I want to conclude by saying that the field of librarianship is still emerging. Now, if we look at what Ragalada said that the library is a growing up business, we look at it in terms of our collections and the services that we render. But in terms of activities or expectations of librarians, we are still emerging. The world that we envision is a system where librarians will sit with decision makers and be able to broker information to them. It's a world where we are involved. For example, during election matters, that's why I said we have to be much more, we need to make ourselves more relevant. For example, during elections, we can advise the government, right from the national librarian downward, we can advise the government on the provisions that they are making for the visually impaired. For those in special library units, they can come up with proposals. Let's assess what is on ground. Let's see how to make better. So it's a future where there are endless possibilities. It's a future that is waiting for people that are ready to take up the bull by the horn. And for the students, I'd like to tell you very clearly that nobody has got the right to determine your future. Your future is in your hands. And it is what you say that will happen. Of course, I am not neglecting the God factor. God factor is central in all that we do. Apart from the God factor, God is depending on you to work actively to do something better for yourself. And on the final note for students, for those of you who are able to finish in first class and who have opportunities of PhD outside the country of scholarship, you have opportunities. Many schools will win master's degree requirements if we finish the surface. In this way, there will be a class of higher that no matter what you are finishing, you will succeed. But for your level, I understand the high school is 200 level among the students. There is no reason why anybody in this class, in this department, should finish anything less than 2-1. Now, it is the pride of the department when we see that you are finished, you are with your companies, you are with MIT, and places that are very important. It is the joy of the department, and that's when they can call you back to say, come and address the students. In line with that conclusion is the story of one of our colleagues whose father happened to be a cobbler and a night guard. He was at the University of Ibadan to study law, and it was through Tinubu scholarship, so they were giving them a kind of allowance. This person finished first class from the Faculty of Law. He went to law school, finished the first class, and is now changed completely. He got scholarship to Cambridge for his master's, finished the master's degree, also with distinction. During the master's class, then he went to Canada for his PhD. But during the master's class, the person that was next to him happened to be, he didn't even know, the daughter of the vice president of Kenya. Eventually, when they finished, they got married. Now, education is a leveler. That is what makes everybody equal. And I want to encourage you that with the privilege that you have of being admitted to this prestigious department, you need to take advantage of that and determine within yourself that you get the best that you can ever do. I want to thank again the department headed by Dr. Ibijua for the invitation extended. And then as my home, when you call me, I'll come again. Thank you very much for listening.
Please, we can do better than that. Please let's appreciate our Muslim. Thank you so much, Marissa, for that wonderful insight into the field of librarianship, whereby you are nurturing our future leaders. Thank you so much. Our future leaders, are you nurtured? Wow, are you nurtured? This kind of response is very, very disappointing. Are we nurtured now? Thank you so much. So, we told you that Barrister is going to tell us so many things which he has been able to do. So, permit me to tell us that if you still have some doubts within you, you are going to be permitted to ask some questions. So, please start preparing your questions. Please let your questions be direct, useful to everybody. Don't just ask questions. It's not in fun. We want to learn, and we are learning. So, as the lecture was going on, we have so many people in our midst. 3 big fishes just entered now. But before then, permit me to welcome my brand new Deputy Dean, Dr. Adeliji Zoto, the Deputy Dean of the brand new Deputy Dean for the Faculty of Arts. Along the line, we have in our midst as well Mr. Abiola Olajide from Northwest, Teaching of Teaching Library, along the line, I have my brother, Dr. from the Enter, who is me, Dr. Ide. He was here. Okay. And just now, please permit me to invite our representative in the library. Likewise, I have my HOD, Department of English and Literary Studies, Professor B. Also, my immediate deputy, Faculty of Arts. More chances for our students, our future leaders, to ask more questions. So please, if you have questions, please signify. If you have meditations in your mind, if you are still, your mind is still doubtful, am I supposed to give the evidence? I have these challenges, I'm about to cross things like that. Please signify by raising up your hands. Students. Okay, the step in another dimension, please, if you have a question, you can write it in a sheet of paper and pass it to the front. Okay, let's say some of us are a bit shy. You don't want to come up, but don't be shy as a librarian. So I told you, your profession is the oldest profession in the whole world. Challenge me.
Hello, sir. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the MC and the moderator has just tried to save the faces of you students by asking you to write it. We are training you to be ambassadors of Lautech. And one of the expectations is that you build confidence to speak publicly, ask questions. Sir, if they do not ask, pick people that will ask the questions randomly among them, and they will ask openly. Thank you.
So, please, another one for my professor. So, exactly the point I was about to make, that you have been nurtured to become leaders, and leaders are trained to stand out and speak to people. So, it is expected of you that if you feel you have questions, raise up your mind before I start calling you. If you don't ask now, I'm going to ask you, okay, or we ask the question instead. So whichever you prefer. So please be agitated now. Compose your questions, raise up your hand, and I'm going to call you to come and ask your question. Hello? Hello? My professor has just told us now that you are supposed to be ambassadors of we are training you to become leaders, and leaders are not supposed to be docile. So please, greatest librarians, are we sleeping? Okay, let me give you some breathing space. Let me assume that you are composing your question. Okay, from this side of the table, do we have comments or whatever, so that we can take it quickly while my students are preparing to ask their question. If there's any comment, okay, Dr. Austin Omarua, you are given the floor. Okay.
Thank you very much, coordinator, very well by giving us, enlightening us what it takes to be a future librarian. And when I saw the name barrister, I initially asked, what is the barrister doing with librarian, you know? So that actually inspired me more to come to this place and see him and listen to what he wants to offer. You can see that as a librarian, you can actually move from one place to the other. In fact, I'm really exposed to that being a student or graduate of library and information science, you have every opportunity to dive into different areas. This particular discipline is interdisciplinary field of study. But on the other hand, I want the speaker to tell us why he was actually interested. How did he come into the librarianship? You know, that area, being a barrister. Now, what I was expecting of him is that he should be in the court, you know, having cases, something. What is working to come to that area? And I also said that he also have in mind that if he's growing, God's taking him higher, he would like to be a librarian of family. So thank you very much.
Okay, please note that. So, okay, Dr. Kumar.
Again, I want to thank the presenter for that beautiful presentation. My own question is in line with what Dr. Abbas said now. During your presentation, you said you find yourself accidentally in librarianship. That means that was not what you have gone in after by the time you entered the university. And now, I knew you wanted to do law, and you are now a lawyer, barrister. Now, during your presentation, you said somebody was asking you, would you like to be a professor in law? And they said, no, first thing I must be.
Good day, everyone. My name is Alvin. I'm under the student lives. I want to have a question. I'm studying library as a first year. I want to further my course. I want to be a law librarian. Will I go to a law school to study law, or will I get a master's degree? And after studying law and after being a master's, what are other things like PhD or like opportunities? Can I differ? Can I change to another profession, or can I simply can I
barrister, and how to get a person. So when you want to do law, you want to become a law librarian, does she need have to read law in the first degree, or should we go for master in law and blah blah blah? Okay, another one. Okay, thank you. Come to the front.